but want to greet you this morning. And I'm starting early, as I said a few minutes ago, because we have some building inspections. I appreciate you praying about that, that all would go well and that we could get to this next level of building occupancy. And then we also have a funeral today for a dear lady, and praise the Lord for her testimony. Her and Roy married 71 years. That's just an amazing testimony. Well, Psalm chapter 22 is a messianic psalm, really is the description of the crucifixion. And I just want to deal with the first few verses that really describe for us the horror of spiritual separation. I don't know that we fully grasp or even like to think about, or maybe we don't even really grasp or believe that spiritual separation would be as horrible as it is. I don't know that we, even as born again believers, can fully understand how terrible hell is, but how horrible being in hell, separated from righteousness, separated from purity, separated from holiness. I don't believe that we really can grasp how horrible that would be. I don't know how to describe it, because I'm not sure words give us the avenue to really comprehend it. And so the scriptures here try to unfold from the very prediction of what Jesus would say as Jesus was going through spiritual separation, as he who knew no sin became sin for us, so that we could be made the righteousness of God in him. In other words, Jesus Christ endured a lot of suffering. He went through terrible pain, but nothing was more difficult for him than the pain of the spiritual separation that became a reality as sin was taken upon him. And the God himself had to turn his back, had to separate himself, for he cannot tolerate sin in any way, because he is absolutely holy, he is absolutely righteous, he is absolutely pure. And so Psalm 22, the familiar phrase of Jesus on the cross, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? It was a rhetorical question, obviously, in the fact that Jesus Christ knew why God had to turn his back. Jesus Christ knew why he had to be separated at that point, why sin was such an offense to a holy God, why it was absolutely devastating to him. We wink at sin, we tolerate sin, we cater to sin, we justify sin, but God in his absolute holiness cannot, will not. And so my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? In other words, Jesus is simply saying, I am here on the cross alone. And the thing I need more than anything is your presence. And yet part of the suffering was that God would have to turn his back on his own son, who had taken on himself the sin of the whole world, the most despicable and horrific sins that you can think of. He was becoming those sins and paying the penalty of them in completion. And God himself had to turn his back. Oh my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not. And in the night season, I am not silent. But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praise of Israel. I don't know what it is that people fear the most about hell. I am not obviously qualified. I certainly am not wise enough or smart enough or intelligent enough to be able to describe appropriately the horrors of hell. But I think sometimes people are fearful of hell or even fearful of going to hell because of the physical torment, and there's plenty. There is lots of physical and lots of emotional torment. But I am convinced in reading Psalm chapter 22 and studying the process of what Jesus Christ went through on the cross, and I'm convinced that the most horrific pain and punishment that a person goes through because of sin is the spiritual separation from that which gives hope, from that which provides help, for that which gives security and confidence, to be able to be left devastated alone with no hope and no help and nothing that could remedy the situation, and I have to stay here and I can't stop because I am sinful, and that which I need is righteousness and holiness and purity. And when a person is separated from that in hell, they are never going to be able to experience it. They are never going to be able to have it. And so in the torment that is physical, that oftentimes creates incredible fear, and people cringe when they think about the amount of physical pain that people will go through because of the price tag of sin. I don't think that we ever can really quantify or wrap our minds around how horrible being separated from that which gives hope, separated from the only thing who can help, and never being able to access it, how horrible that is going to be. And Jesus, in those moments where he hung on the cross, becoming sin for us, so that he could give to us righteous standing, which is the only hope and the only help for our sinful condition. And it is the only way a person can be ushered into heaven in a right standing with God forever. And that's why Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. He is the avenue. And as he was on the cross, enduring the horrific separation because he had become sin, and as he cries out to God in torment because of the horror that he was experiencing, he gives us a glimpse of why it is important for each of us to share the gospel with those who so desperately need it, and to portray gratitude for the salvation that has been extended to us. And so I hope that that challenges you today and motivates you regarding our priority with the gospel. And may God help us to be responsible with it. May he help us to be thankful for it. God bless you. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.